What is going on with phosphorus in the water? USGS, we're taking a look at this, and we can see that phosphorus is a common constituent of agricultural fertilizers, manure, and organic waste in sewage and industrial effluent. And it is an essential element for plant life, but when there's too much of it, it can speed up eutrophication, which is a reduction in dissolved oxygen in water bodies caused by the increase of mineral and organic nutrients of rivers and lakes. And soil erosion is a major contribution of phosphorus to streams. Bank erosion, occurring during floods, can transport a lot of phosphorus from the riverbanks and adjacent land into a stream, lake, or other water bodies. And we also have phosphorus in the surface and groundwater right here. So how does this work? Well, phosphorus gets into water both urban and agricultural settings and tends to attach to soil particles and thus moves into surface water bodies from runoff. The USGS study on Cape Cod, Massachusetts showed the phosphorus can migrate with groundwater flows, since the groundwater often discharges into surface water. And through such stream banks into rivers, there's a concern about phosphorus concentration in groundwater affecting the water quality of surface water. This also is an essential element for plant life, but when there's too much of it in the water, it can speed up eutrophication, which is a reduction in dissolved oxygen in water bodies by an increase of mineral and organic nutrients of rivers and lakes. And this has actually been a very serious problem in Atlanta, Georgia. As a major lake that receives Atlanta's wastewater, West Point Lake is south of the city in metropolitan Atlanta, and phosphorus coming into the streams from the point sources, primarily wastewater treatment facilities, have caused West Point Lake to become highly eutrophic, enriched, a sign of this excess algae in the lake. And state laws to reduce phosphorus coming from wastewater treatment facilities to restrict the use of phosphorus detergents has caused large reductions in the amount of phosphorus in the Chattahoochee River, south of Atlanta, Georgia, and West Point. So towns in the metropolitan Atlanta area are continuing to expand and upgrade existing wastewater treatment facilities to handle the increasing volume of wastewater sewage and to meet stiffer regulations on effluent and river quality. Additional control phosphorus for non-point sources such as applications of lawn fertilizers, disposal of animal waste, may be useful to maintain or improve water quality in streams and lakes growing near urban areas. We can see this chart here of what's going on with this, and we can also see the voluntary restriction on the use of phosphate detergents and the state mandatory restriction on the use of phosphate detergents right here. Also, we can see phosphorus and other nutrients can enter urban streams via urban runoff during rainfall. And this is actually an example right here with a sewer overflow due to heavy rains, causing runoff likely containing phosphorus, nitrogen, ammonia nitrates, and ran sewage into Fall Creek, Indianapolis. So we can actually see the other chart here with phosphorus load in wastewater, the wastewater discharge, voluntary restriction on the use of phosphate detergents, and state mandatory restriction on the use of detergents as well. So this gives an idea of what happens when it gets in the surface and groundwater and how it can be mitigated. That being said, it's good to see the state and other types of entities try and mitigate this, but the issue is the only way you know if there's high phosphorus in your water is to test it.